as a tree.
Anyone who knows us knows that we prepared for this journey for a number of years before setting off abroad, with all the preparations we made prior to starting our new life. We knew that there would be some small things that we forgot. Today, we are going to talk about the small things that we miss most about the U.S. So come on, it'll be fun. In case you don't know us or haven't watched any of our videos, we will give you the short story. A few years ago, we started reviewing our ability or inability to retire and have a quality lifestyle. While exploring our options around the U.S., we were talking to friends who introduced us to the idea of going somewhere outside of the United States because this would allow our money to go further. Becoming an expat and retiring abroad seems like something other people would do. But we had to find a way to create our next adventure that was cost-effective and fabulous. So that brings us to our discussion today. But first, let's quickly discuss our preparations. Before we left the U.S., we had to challenge ourselves with a number of things. Just the thought process of downsizing put me into total decline, and I was the one who came up with this adventure. We had to reduce down from 3,000 square foot house, a large 2.5 car garage, shed, and a yard, to one 20-foot container, of which 17 feet held my 1970 Volkswagen Beetle. Well, I'm a mechanic and owned 50 years worth of tools. My wife is a horticulturist, which meant we owned every gardening item one can imagine. And I have not even talked about the inside of the house, which, with all the keepsakes from raising children, collecting treasures, and decorating, which we had to whittle down to just 20 medium-sized boxes and 6 suitcases. But we'll discuss this process in a future video. Branded goods. We all have a few branded items that we are attached to, but we shopped at Aldi for the 2 years of the pandemic, so we had learned not to be so brand specific. Or so we thought. Once we got here and really started grocery shopping for everyday living, we thought differently. You know, not just a few things we all buy when we're on vacation, but the items we use to cook our favorite meals, clean the house, and get ready every day. We discovered we did have a few things that we missed, so we thought that we'd share them with you. Not to say that we cannot find other things to get attached to here. As we go through the list, what resonates with you? Velveeta cheese. Yes, I did say that. Leslie's grandmother made world-class mac and cheese, and Velveeta is a must in order to get it right. Bisquick. Really, how do you make perfect pancakes without it? But don't worry, it's not actually an issue because you can't find maple syrup. Without syrup, who needs the pancakes? Now, we all know that Europe has an entire world of cheeses that we silly Americans have never even tasted. But so far, we really would like everyone to understand that a good Vermont or Wisconsin cheddar cheese cannot be replaced. Now, here in the island of Madeira in Portugal, the grocery stores are filled with all kinds of wonderful products, many of which are expanding our horizons. Things they take for granted, like olives, are such a treat, and butter cookies for cheap. But do not try to find a family-sized pack of double-stuffed Oreos or Kool-Aid. It can't be done. Regional foods. Since I just spent all that time discussing branded foods, I thought I would remind everyone that no matter where you live, you can become accustomed to regional foods. We have lived in a number of places in the U.S. When we left Memphis, we discovered that we'll never be able to replace Memphis barbecue and Sam's Donuts. My wife is from Cincinnati and has the family addicted to Cincinnati chili. Road trip to Skyline, here we come. What about brats, hot dogs, and Chicago pizza? Well, don't worry about us. We have discovered all new foods to fall in love with. If and when you come, you must also try lapas, or barnacles, which are my favorite, pulva alligario, which is octopus and Wolf's favorite, sardinas grijadas, otherwise known as grilled sardines. I know it doesn't sound great, but they are. Pasta de nata, a custard pastry. They are great, but they are not donuts. Bolo de caco. This is a bread with garlic and butter. Black scabbard fish, served with Madeira and banana, is wonderful. Espadata, or fabulous grilled beef on a skewer seasoned with salt, garlic, and basil. What can go wrong? Time. This one will sound silly, but it is very important. There is a time difference. Amazingly, I think the reason we have added this one to the list of things we miss about the U.S. is that when the time difference is just an hour or two different in most places in the U.S., it's not a big deal and it takes very little planning. Here it is 5 or 6 hours back to the Midwest, which is only an issue when sometimes people forget and call you in the middle of the night. Or we get busy in the afternoon and don't get a phone call made back home as we had planned. But we have found that using different options like WhatsApp, WeChat, and Skype for calls keeps things simple and cost effective. Systems and processes. Let's talk about systems and processes. You're going to love this one, but did you ever think you would miss the DMV? Of course you didn't. It's not that we missed the DMV, and what's amazing is that here almost all of the services are found in one location. You can renew your driver's license, go to the SEF office, sign up for gas, and many other things. But what we miss is that we don't know the processes here. It sounds funny, but all Americans know the process to get a driver's license, get your water turned on, sign up for a bank account, so we don't even think about it. We just do it. Well, now we have to learn all new processes. Where to go, what to bring, when it must be completed by, and how much time it will take out of your day. Thankfully, we have met wonderful people along our journey to help us with these things, especially since we do not speak Portuguese yet. Pets. Before coming to Portugal, we read about how you must watch where you step when you go outside to avoid stepping in dog poop. It seemed like it was going to be absolutely terrible. So, when we got here on the island of Madeira, we were happy to discover, while that it is an issue, it is not unavoidable. When we visited Lisbon, however, it was more of an issue. Unlike in the U.S., not all people feel they should have to clean up behind their animals. A big part of this issue has probably had to do with the fact that most of the time animals are not on leashes. And I guess there are no leash laws. Think 1970. When we are out walking with Greer, we meet many stray dogs along the way, which means there is no one to clean up behind them. We also come across many dogs with collars that are running in front or behind of their owners. So maybe the owner always doesn't know when they should be cleaning up. For those of you who do not know, we brought our dog Greer along on this journey. She is a Cairn Terrier in which we rescued just before COVID. She is frightened of loud noises like the ocean waves, buses, motorcycles, etc., and of dogs larger than she is. So, all the loose dogs, whether strays or with an owner, means she has to be carried sometimes. She doesn't like to have her butt sniffed either. household things. We thought we would touch on a few household differences that we miss. We've gotten used to living without them, but thought you might be interested in knowing about them. For example, there are no screens on the windows. In August, when we came here for our first visit, we stayed in a place with big, beautiful ocean views through the sliding doors that led to the balcony. But the doors had no screens. Note, no air conditioning, and it was summer. Our first thoughts that we were going to roast at night when we were sleeping because the doors were going to be shut. But who wants to get eaten alive by mosquitoes or have creepy crawlies come into the bed? Guess what? Neither happened. We don't need screens here. It's amazing. We also have discovered you can live here without heating and air conditioning. While sometimes in the winter we need to have socks on in the house to keep our feet warm, and in the summer we'd like to have air conditioning. It really isn't like trying to live in the Midwest without these things. So what else? Well, everybody knows here the refrigerators are small. While they are small, they are not dorm room size as we have been told. They are plenty big enough, and you can get a double-door American-sized fridge if you really want it. We have found it is not really an issue. Disposals. They don't even have them here. My wife Leslie first went into decline, but has gotten over it and figured out her grandmother survived without one. Leslie misses her kitchen garden the most. We have always had a garden just outside the kitchen where the herbs were planted. This garden made it very easy to add flavor to your recipes without having to do all the pre-planning and shopping to ensure you have a specific fresh herb to finish the dish. Our gardens also had vegetables planted that will be coming along as the season progressed. We do miss this. However, we just have another reason to go to the market and make friends with more Madeirans that do have gardens. So many people here have bananas planted in their yards. We cannot wait until we learn more about them so we can grow some for ourselves. It's just coming to spring now, and for the first time in our lives together, we do not have a garden to tend and plan. This is going to be the hardest change, but it is one that we knew we would make based upon where we chose to live. Maybe we will get a piece of land here and plant a new subtropical garden. Now that sounds like fun. Wonder if hosses will like it here. Family and friends. We miss family and friends, but that is normal. We definitely miss having people stop over for wine, beer, and cheese, and chit-chat, or grilling on the barbecue. No worries, we are already making new friends and hope to see some of the old ones when they come for a visit. We can now invite people we meet to join us on the patio for a drink as the sun sets. We think this doesn't suck. The language. We miss not always knowing what people are saying and be able to easily join into the conversation. By not knowing the language, there are subjects we are not learning about. We don't really know what we are missing out on, or if someone's saying bad things about us. Many more advantages to living the life we have chosen as expats in Portugal. We are grateful for the opportunity this adventure is giving us. We hope you will join us as we continue on our journey. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to help us grow, like our videos, comment so we can improve, and hit that notification bell so we can torture you regularly.